What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I may have to get the headphones in because of the loudness of the traffic. Donald Trump's in Austin, Texas today, and of course, that means all the traffic's going to be jammed up for everybody. Um, and he's in North Austin right now, where I'm at. I just left Best Buy. I had to go get this camera. It's a fast action camera, kind of in your pocket, kind of carry it around. It's going to be for me to on my motorcycle, and also when I go golfing more. Um, and here's the thing. I hate to rant because all it does is it just makes, they call it anger porn. Yesterday video was fun. It was great. I enjoyed talking about all the business topics yesterday. And then I went on YouTube some and I watched the other videos and I realized, people are right. You can come on this channel and make anything you want, but also you got to realize people have a right to do what? Comment and push against what you want to do. There's nowhere in the world. If you never want anybody to disagree with you, don't have an opinion. Be nothing, be no one, do nothing. But if you want to have an opinion in this world, you're going to have to expect people to push back against it. You're going to have to expect people to not like what you have to say. You're going to have to expect to get some pushback. That's just how things go. And for people to get online and say, I can't believe people are pushing back against me, that is to be expected. Now, I have a problem with our YouTube society where everybody wants to talk about the symptoms and not the actual problem. Now, what do I mean by this? It's like when your grandma or somebody in your family goes to the doctor, like, my fingers and toes are tingling. Well, yes, ma'am, you have diabetes. Well, can you do something about my fingers and toes? No, I have to treat you for diabetes. Well, when I walk, my pants chafe and, my legs hurt. Well, ma'am, it's because you're overweight. You could lose weight. Oh, man, I ain't trying to do that. Can you give me something for my pants? It's the same thing with high blood pressure. You name it. Any of these things. People want the symptoms gone, but don't want to treat the problem. Now, what I'm talking about in references, BGS can come and talk to me about this. I'm willing to go on his channel and talk about it. But he was saying I've been talking about relationships because everything in society boils down relationships. And I almost busted out laughing because I'm like, everything in society revolves around money, then relationships. Sorry, it's always been money. It's always been money. And when people say, why are women think they're the prize? Because wars have been fought over women, not men, women. Okay. So when we look at historical times, we look at now, we talk about money and the place money has in society, people get upset and you have a right to be upset. But you also have to know, don't hate the player, don't hate the game, learn the rules so you can what? Win. All right. When someone tells you the rules of the game and you go, but that's not fair. It's just like when my friend was at the gym and he was saying girls should come up to us in the gym because the gym is like the club for men. If you want a healthy, fit man, this is where you go. I said, yeah, but the club is da-da-da. And we went to this whole circular argument. And I was saying, listen, you're thinking like a man. You think I'm physically fit, so a woman equivalently, and if not more beautiful physically fit, should be my partner. Now, if that woman comes to you and asks you, how's your financial life? Do you have assets? Do you live on your own? How does your money look? Immediately, said man will be upset and angry. Why? Because now we're getting back to the basics, right? We're all talking about the symptoms and not the true problem. Now, listen, Michelle, there's some girl named Michelle Pink. I don't want to get in fights with her either. And she's talking about she'll never date a blue collar man again. Now, when she said this, she's divorced. She has multiple children. And at the end of the day, something was wrong about her story. Now, why am I saying something's wrong about her story? Over the internet, when you Google her, many people are calling her a scammer, which is really weird because most people don't get the scammer title unless they're scamming, right? Now, she talked about she had a husband and they broke up because of money. Now, this is the number one thing. If you go actually look up divorce attorneys, they say irreconcilable differences, but if you actually look it up, it's usually money, right? When we had the 2008 recession, most people lost their home because they were short $500 in their budget. $500, y'all. When they asked them how they lost the car, when they do a forensic bank audit of that person. The forensic bank audit of that person was they were short on average $500 a month. Now, how is that possible? Of course, it's credit. We live in a credit society. People are able to live beyond their means. Now, back to this whole Michelle Pink thing. The average man that's in blue collar construction work they make good money. They make $75,000 to $90,000 a year. Let's be really clear. Now, if you're talking about a guy who's just moving the trash cans at the construction site, or the guy just holding the sign, maybe not so much. But on average, blue collar jobs pay very well. Blue collar skills are in high demand. If her husband was a welder, he'd be making $150,000 to the top more, right? If he was a plumber, 80 an hour. You know, if he was making a lot, these are just things that don't add up into her story. So if the man's making $75,000 to $90,000, and then she's making money because clearly she works somewhere, if you get to the $135,000 mark, this is the mark for middle class families. Now people say, well, Erica, it says 50,000. You're looking at old data. Again, I keep telling you, these companies that go around spending billions of dollars in research and advertising to see what is the true middle class family, it is $135,000. That's husband and wife, their incomes together. Sorry, I'm trying to get this air blowing in here before I start coughing. That's their incomes together. So when people sit here and try to argue me about with old data, I'm like, that's old data. That data doesn't even count anymore. I hope that was better. Put a 1 in the comments if that was better for y'all with the window up, because it did seem kind of loud. Put a 1 in the comments if it sounds better now. That way it helped me out here. If it sounds better now, put a 1 in the comments. Now, part of why am I talking about this? Because people say, well, you need to talk about relationships. We need to talk about these single moms. And again, I go back to, where do you live? Where are you living? Because right now I'm in parts of Pflugerville and I'm in certain neighborhoods. It's black families all over the place. You go into the grocery store, gym. It's black tech people all over the place. Now, again, people say, well, Erica, that's your city. You're an exception to the rule. And let's be really honest. I travel all year long. I go city by city by city by city. Trust me, I'm seeing more wealthy people than not. Okay? Keyword there. I'm in certain cities and certain areas and certain things. Now, what you're hearing and the screaming and the cries are from the poor. Somebody was in the chat over there saying they lived in an apartment that was $600 a month, and all they see is single moms and Mexicans and all this other really derogatory stuff. And I went to go say, well, sir, you just told us your apartment is $600 a month. Where are you living? Okay. And, when people have this obsession of talking about relationships, and you have people who are married with kids and grandkids talking about relationships, I don't understand it, because what they're doing is not providing a solution. And at any given time, everybody has a right to ask you, what's the solution to the problem? And they go, well, I don't have a solution. I'm just out here in the middle of the street hollering about the problem. Well, okay, people have a right to know what's the solution. They do. Now, prime example. When I was looking online, I was Googling, Aaron Clary makes a joke about frat boy businesses, right? And I laugh a little bit, but I do follow a lot of these Instagram channels, and it'll be young, white, Latino, Asian men, getting credit cards, learning how to do SEO, learn how to do things. And people say, well, Erica, it's because of lack of money and opportunity. Well, these young people have choice. No. It's about choice with that phone. Because you start interviewing and seeing young black men, you go, what are they doing with their time? It's music, it's sports, it's entertainment. It's circling around those. So my whole point is, hey, if you're going to be talking about music and entertainment that much, you need to be making some money off of it. Not being an aspired musician, not being an aspired rapper, aspirative creative, but someone who actually converts it to actual money in your pocket. Again, it's all about focus. Where's the focus at in these time periods? Now, 9 times out of 10, relationships create stability. They create financial stability. They create stability as far as home. And I'll see friends who wanted to change careers and jobs in their young 20s that were married, that were able to do so because they were what? Married. They had 2 people working together. But it isn't the end all be all. it isn't their whole entire life. Their other spouse has to work in order for them to live. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. Like, the wife can come home and be with the kids. There is seasons of life where she will not work as much or as hard in order for the family to make it, to thrive as a unit. But again, it goes back to the what? Back to the what? Back to the what? Money. People are telling you, well, black people ain't got no money. Okay, we already know that's not true, right? We know it's not true on many levels. But also, we talk about, they got these out here with these cell phones. They're out here with these car payments. What are they doing with their time? I make fun about people doing Uber and Lyft and all this other stuff. But I'd rather them Uber, Lyft, eat, start getting more money in their pocket so that they can do what? Start getting back their time so they can start seeing where's the angle they need to go. Because this is getting crazy. You're talking about $200, $500 problems that could be solved by you changing jobs or you changing skills, right? There is some proverb, I'm trying to think what it is. And it's like, people try to, you don't have to oppress a man. If you control his mind, he'll find the back door for himself. And that's what people are doing. They're literally just keeping their head down. I don't want to try too hard. Oh, like, how many comments people put in the comments about 100K jobs are a lot of stress. I'm sorry. Have you seen school teachers? They make 40K a year, and that's a lot of stress. I'd much rather have the 100K a year with that level of stress than a school teacher stress. Just saying. Now, there's something I posted on Instagram and people loved it. They loved it. It was the guy talking about how Mitt Romney and Donald Trump don't want to show their taxes because they know people will literally be like, what? They pay so much less taxes than I thought. Why are they paying so much less? And it's because the laws were written for landowners and homeowners. So when you talk about the community or the community, why are they struggling? Less home ownership than others, less land purchasing than others, all kind of reasons. Now, people go say, well, Erica, it's cause, the man's holding us down. Okay. Well, when I sit here and I go do videos and I show you where land $6,000 an acre, $4,000 an acre, $3,000 an acre. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to live in the city. Or they want to go back to conversations talking about gentrification. But then you go, well, are you going to buy a house? Well, racism has stopped me from buying a house. And then I ask you, in the last 2 to 5 years, have you went to get pre-approved to see if you could qualify for a home? No, they did that. They qualified for some cars and some other stuff, but they ain't did that. So then what do? They come on YouTube and spend 4 to 8 hours a night talking about relationships and how these women should be in shape and should be the best women ever. Again, what is their equivalent? What are the women marrying? Again, if you have a society that encourages the man to be the what? Leader, to be the what? The moneymaker, to be the what? The planner. And these men are saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want to look good by going to the gym every day. And some woman ought to come in and come on in with that. The best woman, the finest women should come off that. And again, that's not reality, dude. For anybody's culture. In China right now, the men are saving 30% of their income. Even though they already know the country is short of women. They're saving 30% of their income to show potential families, look how much money I saved. I have so much more money. I have opportunity to take care of your daughter. If that doesn't work, what are the men doing now? They're going to Thailand. They're going to Vietnam. They're going to Sri Lanka. They're going to Malaysia. They're going to Indonesia and getting what? Other types of Asian wives. But how are they able to do that? Money, saving money, investing money. Okay? Do you understand that? The symptom is their country killed millions of girls. They're short at least 30 million women in their country by the choice of mothers and the country killing girls. But now, what does that recall the man to do? Show he's worthy. Now, see, if you listen to some of these people on the internet, oh, the man's the prize. If you're the prize, You should be the financial prize because men are to be what? Effective, not attractive. That's a woman trait. Effective. Now someone's going to come in this chat and say, well, Erica's fat and Erica's this and Erica's that. And I go again, are you being effective? You're insulting me based on looks or something because you cannot be effective. So that's all you have to argue about. Right? Right. Now, when I talk about next year trying to show people about leveling up, and part of why I'm doing the YouTube course this way is because I actually know women who literally put on some nice clothes, went to these balls and these events and galas and got married. Got married to judges, got married to high influential men. The average man marries a woman that's a 7. Let's keep it a buck. The average man marries a woman that's a 7. I can sneak this little camera in, AM1 recommended, I will take it. I will go to these events and I will show you the average wife in there is a 7. She's a 7. She ain't no model. She ain't no Halle Berry. She ain't no J-Lo. She ain't no, oh my God, I'm about to fall over and pass out. She's a 7. And she's sweet. And she's nice. And she's kind. And she's funny. She's a person, per se. Let's just go there. She's a person. And what people don't understand is they're out here spending their whole 20s chasing bullshit, music, entertainment, sports, make no career out of it, just chasing it, while their counterparts are chasing what? I better figure out SEO so I can get paid. I better figure out this so I can get paid. I better figure out this so I can get paid. Okay? Thank you. They can't keep a 10. Listen, I know 3 men right now who are absolute 10s. Absolute 10s. I'm talking about this man so fine, women just be like, oh my God, oh my God. And actually has money. Those same 3 men didn't marry 10s. They married 7s. Really nice 7s. Sweetest woman can be. But 7s. So when I see a 10, that's a man that's 6'3", light-skinned black dude, gorgeous, in corporate America. He ain't even get no 10. Stop it. Stop it. It's getting ridiculous. And I mean, the thing of it is like, what are you talking about? Right? We're going back to, how do you help the community if you're not? I mean, he's a light-skinned guy. He's very beautiful. I mean, but he's married. He's very sweet. And he's sweet as well. Now, back in the day, he wasn't so sweet, but now he's sweet. Again, there's another guy I know. Black dude. Tech. First wife was white. Second wife is black. Again, people like, oh, he got burned and divorced. He never get married. He was paying the first wife, if I'm not mistaken, maybe $3,000 a month. Because she was going to school, then like they got divorced while she had a baby, and so she wasn't working. But anyway, he was paying her $3,000 a month. Guess what? Still went out and got another wife. Went on and got remarried. Okay? This whole phenomenon with, I'm only hitting 10s. I'm only in the club with 10s. Like, come on, you guys. This is hilarious, but ridiculous. It absolutely makes no sense. It makes none. It's an ego stroking thing that people are doing on the internet that make no sense. Okay? Let's get back down to reality. And it's like, nobody's getting married. It's going to be the lowest ever. You guys are going off of old 2000 data. Every study recently showed these young black kids in college at predominantly white schools are marrying each other because of why? They saw how shitty it was for single motherhood or divorced wife or divorced mom growing up. They're doing the reverse. The pendulum is swinging back. This Generation Z is not going to do what we're doing. Okay? They're not going to do what we're doing. They're getting married. They know the stability of it. Every freaking study shows when you cohabitate but not married, you're less happy. You guys, when you do get married, you guys don't stay together long. Okay? It gets ridiculous. These people are telling you stuff that's old data. I look at data every damn day. Everybody can't be rich, but that's not what I'm talking about. Southern comfort. I'm not talking about everybody making $10 million. I'm just saying you don't have to be the bottom barrel. You don't have to find the door for the back door. You don't have to be the bottom. Even the guy making 30 or 40K a year can invest his money every year. If he partners and works together with someone, the pendulum is swinging back. Economically, people will not be living by themselves. They will do what? Get married. As these older millennials are doing what? Getting married at 32 to 37. Every study is showing that. People do the same thing. They just do it slower. And again, I'm meeting people who are, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I'm trying to calm down. The ideal of a 10 is completely subjective. You know, I give you a 10. I'm always going to say Holly Berry's a 10. I'm going to say J-Lo's a 10. She's fucking 50 years old, still looks amazing. I saw her in a stripper movie. I mean, there's physically for a woman, it is a beauty standard 10, right? The attitude could be trash, but people don't care about that. Unfortunately, they should, but they don't. But for a man that's a 10 is financially, usually a 10. But again, when I talk about, Anderson, all these people keep making up pre-select or whatever bullcrap, 6 foot tall man, whatever, right? Now, it's all subjective, and it's very true. It's subjective. Yeah, Holly's always a 10. Shit, I don't care what nobody talking about Holly fine. Okay, let's keep it real. And there's several other, what's her name? Angela Bassett. I mean, these are women who genetically, you see them at 50 and you're still like, damn. You at the gym like, see that right there? I got to go back and work out, right? You know what I mean? Like, there are some people that are genetically superior. Let's just call it what it is, okay? Genetically, they look amazing, right? But I had a friend tell me, if you want that type of wife, do you have $100,000 a year to give her? And I laughed because these are all tech men, but he was saying his boss made $350K a year. And this is not at Dell. This is at another smaller tech company here in Austin. And he was saying his boss was like, oh, my wife's going on this vacation with her girlfriends. Everybody's like, oh, that's so great. Where are they going? Oh, they're going to Hawaii. Your wife is going to Hawaii with her girlfriends without you while you're here at work? Yeah, she's going. The level of maintenance that you will need financially for that type of woman, you don't have, right? So prime example, there's a show, 90 Day Fiance. It cracks me up. I always joke about, I used to tell my friends I'm going to go get me a Dominican husband or something, a hardworking immigrant or something. And so 90 Day Fiance, it has these two black guys. One black guy went over to the Dominican Republic. After 8 days of basically hooking up with a prostitute, he literally is proposed to the woman and tried to bring her back to America. Now, he is a black guy who's had multiple white baby mamas, okay? Just giving you the backstory. And so, since that ain't working, these white women ain't working for him. He's going to go overseas and get an overseas, poor woman. He brings her over here and takes her to the thrift store. She immediately goes, are you kidding me? I'm not going to a thrift store. I want to go see Dolce & Gabbana and all this other stuff, right? And even in the moment as you're watching this man's eyes, he thought, and like many people do, I'm just going to go overseas to a poorer country and bring somebody to America and let them deal with my crap because I'm a man and I deserve the best. And guess what? They don't want that shit either. They're going to get there and realize this is bullshit. And you're back to the what? The root of the problem was financial. You got all these baby mamas and you're trying to go overseas and you're trying to recruit this woman into your drama. But guess what? She's going to require you make money too. You have to be effective. And as much as we go in circles talking about relationships, if you don't got money, if you don't have a house, if you don't have stability, it doesn't matter. I keep meeting people who move from city to city. I talked to this couple, they were from New York. They've been here in Texas 10 years. From New York. And they were so excited about how cheap the apartments were. And so I said, hey, why don't you buy a house? We always thought we were going to move back to New York. You did? After 10 years? With no money? So you've been spending 10 years renting, throwing money down the drain, when 10 years ago in Austin, you could have had a behemoth of a house for $100,000? And you would have been in the black in money and equity? I told you guys about a house 3 years ago I went to buy. It was $135,000. It sold recently for $285,000. That's just in a 3-year period. So imagine that couple that was here 10 years ago, because really they lived in Round Rock. So they could have got an $80,000 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, big backyard house that would have been worth $280,000 by now. Again, it goes back to money. If you know the rules and you don't want to play, and here's the thing, these people know the rules. These men working out in the gym every day talking about, look how fit I am, I should have a fit woman, and they're 35 fucking years old with nothing to show for their life financially. They know the rules. They don't have any money to get that type of woman. So then they go on the internet and bullshit all day about how the American woman is broken, because they can't find a sexual equivalent when they have no money and no assets and no home. I'll tip my hat to the guys here in Austin who I meet who are techie nerds, may not have a great body, may be a little socially awkward, but he gets a house and he gets his car paid off and he goes, look, come on, girl. Come on, girl. Can't front. I got a house, I got a car. I'm doing the things I should. Now, I mean, we got to sit here and go, let's do the math here. Let's do the math. You know, you guys want to keep the standard, but then you don't want to keep the standard financially. And it's ridiculous. You can't expect hot model wife if you have no hot wife model money. And then refuse to learn about it. Again, this is what is happening to our community. I did the past week 30 phone calls, consultations, and I thank every one of you that paid for them. They were all young, white, and Asian men, y'all. They're on their game. The one black dude that did call that past week, I thank you. You're on your game, baby. You're there. Just keep going. Don't give up. But that makes no sense to me. I talked to 30 men, 29 of them is white and Asian, and they watch the channel because they're looking for information, and they're like, hey, when is your YouTube course going to be ready? Can I go ahead and go? I'm like, no, it's not ready. People aren't out here for playing. They ain't playing. I'm going to a $13 million mansion December 13th through 15th in San Diego, California. I'm probably going to be the only black girl there. It's going to be a room full of white and Hispanic guys who are doing the credit game, who are getting their money up, and we're going to play paintball, and I'm going to kick their butt because I don't want them to think I'm not going to be kicking their butt. I'm going to be kicking their butt. So in the consultations, usually people call me with a problem, whether they've got stuck somewhere in the business credit cycle or they got stuck somewhere and trying to grow their business, develop their business, or get leads for their business. And a lot of people know I've been working with different VAs. So as I'm working with these VAs, I can replicate the process and help you do that as well. But there's a lot of stuff that I'll teach in the YouTube course that I'm doing on the phone now. And I'm like, I can just do this in a course and be done with it. Right? I mean, the whole fit but broke argument, A1, I'm serious. I can go to the gym right now and find at least 12 guys who are like super fit. But then when you talk to them, they got 3 roommates. They work at a job making $30K a year. They ain't got no plan. They just want to go out. They don't want to talk deeply about any deep topics. You know, I had a guy one time go on a couple dates with me, and he ghosted. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, no problem. And I went to church and somebody said, yeah, he Googled you. And he was like, man, she really doing a lot of stuff. I said, oh, he don't want to date a girl that does Instagram or something or YouTube? They're like, yeah, that's kind of what it was. And I said, you know what it was? I found out the dude was living with roommates, made like $25,000 a year. Now, I could work with somebody, not that low. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't trying to work with nobody that low. But he had good personality. All he needed to do was what? Figure out the career stuff. People are willing to work with you if you are truthful about where you are. But again, a person that doesn't want to grow up, doesn't want to face facts, are going to do what? They're going to find the exit door. They're going to go, yeah, can't do that. Yeah, I'm going to go to the exit door. They're going to do that. They're going to find the exit for themselves. But here's what we're coming up against. People are getting 40, 50, 60 years old, and then they blame work is kicking them out because of ageism, when instead they refuse to acknowledge they're not improving their skills. The reason I can have this attitude is not because I'm one of these black girls who, I got a college degree. Nah, that ain't it. That's because I literally spent $75,000 this year coaching, educating myself, getting better, paying a personal trainer, soon to pay a personal chef, getting these things that make you actually a top-notch person. Not this bullshit of like, look how fit I am. I'm fit, but my fucking life's a dumpster fire. Do you know how many people call me and tell me about how they married some woman who was a dumpster fire? She was hot, but her finances were a dumpster fire. Okay? I get those calls all the fucking time. You know why? Because they just didn't care. She's hot. I can fix her math problem. You can't fix a person's math problem if they won't fix it up here. If this is fucked up, it's fucked up. Do you understand that? I had a boyfriend who was a musician. Broke musician. I can't do any more broke musician. I can't do it. And the other musician before him had a freaking CD. He had a merch site. He was booking himself concerts. He was doing everything he needed to do. And I was like, man, you're a sweet guy, but I can't go on this journey with you. And I let him go. And I dated the second musician, and I didn't tell him how to run his business, but I did mention it. I said, you know, you could do this. You could do more. People are willing to work with you if you're willing to do what? Improve yourself. But see, what improving yourself looks like to some people is settling, right? Unfortunate. I remember Kevin Samuels was talking on his channel about dressing better, and some man said people should accept me how I am. I'm 40 years old. I want to be comfortable. And see, what happens is you guys get 40 and 50 years old and say you want to be comfortable, but you ain't set up no life to be comfortable. Now you're home bitter, mad at your wife because she could be hotter. Do you have more money? Are you providing her that type of life? I have a friend right now who literally, his wife was complaining because she gained 40 pounds while she was pregnant. And he said, this is what I will do. I will pay for you a trainer and I will pay for a chef and I will eat the food you eat. Tell me why that woman, she said, oh, I can't believe you said that. Came back the next day. She told her girlfriends at work and they said, honey, that's an amazing husband you have. Take it. So of course she goes, she gets the trainer. She lost 40 freaking pounds. He lost 20 pounds just eating the leftover food from what the chef makes. Again. You have people saying that they're men of means, they're men of this and that, but their caliber and their conversation doesn't show you that. Okay? And men of means and men who want to show, listen, people who improve themselves are vain. Okay, honey, I'm vain too. Y'all may think I'm not, but I am. I made this money, I spend this money. Okay? Do you understand? Like, you're gonna show off the results. And if you have a spouse who's serious about how much it really requires to have a wife and have a family, to have a legacy, they'll do that. So the wife looks amazing now. She looks really amazing. And her friends, our stay-at-home moms, are shocked at how well she looks. But again, it's because her husband invested in her. Now, people say, well, Erica, you know, she need to just do this and that. $500 is all she's paying. He paid for her trainer twice a week. And I think the food is like, I think the food's more expensive than the trainer. I can't remember how much. But that's just it. Imagine $500 stopping you from getting your wife back down 40 pounds. Ex-boy, she had a C-section. So you do need, when you have C-sections, you do need to repair your abdominal muscles and repair your back because your core is fucked up. And men don't know nothing about that. So, and I wouldn't expect you to. If you ever had your appendix taken out, and ask men who's had the long cut appendix. Prime example, Nick Bear's brother. To this day, he has a scar all the way up his stomach from where his appendix got affected. That's the equivalent. It will take you time, right? James Forbes, what's up, James Forbes? I have a cousin that's a Forbes. Who's this? Anyway, so it's a combination. And honestly, if you look at elderly people will say, oh, you know, and if you look at elderly people, the bones and the bodies and the muscles of elderly people who actually lift weights, it is actually, you need to lift weights as you get older. Anything after 40, you're lifting weights. You just are. Weight resistance. Even if it's just your own body weight. Even if it's just push-ups. Even if it's just pull-ups. It's your own thing, right? So, in the scope of all that, in the scope of all this we're talking about, Why do I bring this up? Because people will say, Erica, these women are saying they can't find men of means, and that's ridiculous, right? Because they're everywhere, but where are you hanging out? Right? Now, prime example, when people say, how do these girls find these basketball and football players? They literally Google and search and go find them and search where they go work out and search their Instagram and go be where they at and go literally stalk them, essentially. You could do the same in the financial sector, not stalk though, y'all, please don't be weird. If you really wanted results, if you really were serious and said, Erica, I want this particular lifestyle. Okay, honey, are you going to dress this particular way? Are you going to wear these particular shoes? Are you going to talk in a way that is receptive to those individuals? Are you going to be able to play golf? You know, all this other stuff, right? And I was playing tennis one day on the court. I was just hitting it back and forth by myself. And this man comes in and all of a sudden we play, right? Because there's a meetup group that meets there on certain days. And we're playing, and he's actually shocked. And he goes, I thought you were just out here playing. I'm like, no, I'm literally playing. I thought you wanted to play. And I end up talking to him and saying, yeah, I went to a private school, and they taught us at a Christian private school. And he was like, And again, people are just making assumptions. Unfortunately, that's just how life goes. They assume, maybe you don't know these things. But again, there you go, BBL. Kate Middleton changed her original college so she could attend the same college as Prince William. But guess what? Even in that scenario, it took her almost 10 years before he married her. Again, even her being in the best space, best time, being in his face while she's young, wearing that man down, still took Kate. They call her Weighty Kate in London, okay? There's a reason they call her Weighty Kate. But again, now she's queen. So, what do you call it? Princess or whatever, so... James 4, we ain't cousins like that. I ain't got no money. I got no money to give any cousins I ain't eating dinner with at Thanksgiving. So, but let me just read some of these. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Solid Steps of Wealth. Florida Panhandle. Oh, thank you guys for coming here. Women should not approach men for a romantic image. BB Rodriguez, I don't think so. I think you should just be in the space, in the place, right? I don't think that ever works. My friend thinks that works because he's a man and he would love for women to approach him in the gym, which is weird. Money is a tool of economy. Economy is interaction between two people for exchange of services and products. Money is a tool, not the economy. Yes, money is a tool. It's a big tool. Money's up there right around breathing. You need it. You need it. Sorry, 80K in major cities is nada. The further north you go, that's true. The further south you go, except for Miami, that's the opposite. They're living broke on credit cards. Yep. Relationships, single moms. The topic should be money, forced. Yeah, it should be. Love what you do. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Steven. The code of the street, it can be life-changing for some people. Deep look, I'm pretty sure it is. But I remember being, I'll be honest, being picked on, being kind of ostracized a little bit in high school. And I could tell from Manosphere that I forgot his name, Thanos Clutch maybe. He experienced some of the same thing. But instead of going, I'm just going to hang out with the upper class black people, he decided, well, I'm just going to hang out with white women. And that's going to solve my problems. And again, people are people. Again, people are people. Go where you're welcome. Go where you're tolerated. Go where you're celebrated. But again, that people need therapy. I'll just say that. I live out here in a rural area, and the guys who holler at me all have farms and homes and skill sets. Them dudes crying are in trash can trying to live like a millionaire. I'm sorry. And listen, several of the guys here on the dating sites will go, I live 30 minutes from Austin on a farm. I got a whole house. I got animals. I got stuff. What's up? And they know how to write that stuff. Thank you for buying the planner, Lance Brown. Hey, Erica, when is your YouTube course dropping? Make sure you get on the email list. The email list will be the first people to know about it. I think there's like 600 people on the email list so far or something like that. We're only doing 500 people in the class max. I just don't think we can handle our lives are every Wednesday for 12 weeks. And in order to help each other in the Facebook group, we're putting a private Facebook group for it. Probably 500. I'm gonna cap it at 500. So anyway, it's in the description. Just sign up for the links. We are the largest consumers in America. Yeah, we are. We're and everybody dictates to us. And people don't understand it. If you actually sit back and watch TV, and really watch it, Like, it's programming. All of it's programming. But you really watch it, like the Hallmark Channel all of a sudden started doing what? Making movies for black women. The Hallmark Channel makes millions of dollars a year. Like, millions. They have 2 channels now. And now all of a sudden they're making for women. So when people tell me, oh, black women don't want to be married, I almost just laugh in their face. I go, honey, you're around the wrong women, for one. And if you're a man living very poorly in a poor area, you're seeing poverty on display and it's upsetting you. So then you should, as a man, do what? Spend the next 2 to 3 days out of a week somewhere where poverty is not, in a better side of town, at golf courses, at association events, at banquets, at galas. You want beauty, you want access to beautiful women who are well-to-do or come from good families, you need to go where they are. Sitting in your $600 apartment looking out at the parking lot as poor women fight or do awful things, well, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to see your everyday life? It's just ridiculous. What's funny here is Southern Comfort. When I have kids, they're not going to be on these. They're not going to be on these shows. I'm not a YouTuber who's going to need the money for the kids. I'm not going to have to make the money off the kids. I've made the money now so that I can go goof off. Just saying. Again, next year, the whole vacation I'm taking next year, there'll be some videos documenting stuff, but I'll just show you what the different life is. Again, it can be very different. It's you choose. Black Caesar, you should have went on live. I saw it and I said, uh-oh. Stress comes from more than your job. Yeah, it does. People hate accountability. They really do. AM1, I tell guys all the time, be about your resources more than attention or validation. Yeah. No hate here, nothing but love from Oklahoma City. What's up, Jasper? Perception is not reality. Optical illusions are for the small-minded. Oh, thank you, Daddy. But listen, let's be really honest. I'm a little vain. I know I'm good looking. I'm not even, listen, when I walk out, I get the fellas now. I've been proposed to at least, twice. The third one didn't count because that was high school. My mama told him to get out away from our house. My stepdad was like, if he comes back over here, I'm going to beat his legs. But that's why I laugh at when people talk about this stuff, because I'm like, okay, all right. You know what I mean? You just let people have it, because instead of improving themselves, it's like the guy with diabetes. His foot about to fall off, but he just want the doctor to give him something for the pain for his foot instead of stop eating banana pudding every damn week. You know what I mean? It gets ridiculous. Oh yeah, AM1. Let's keep it even more. I would say, but women do it differently, right? So, and this is just, I'm going to go a little psychology here. If a man is hurt, he lashes out. If a woman is hurt, sometimes she self-inflicts damage on herself, scarring, mutilation. Prime example, I'm going to say this and please don't come after me. When I see a black woman or a woman with a lot of tattoos all over her body, I'm actually worried about her mentally, because it's a scarification process. That's what she's doing. She's scarring herself. Now, people say, well, she just is being free, Erica. She's getting these tattoos. Or if I see a girl with a bullhorn and like doing things that obviously mark the face up, tattoos on the face, all this stuff, I'm actually really concerned, because it's such a push and a cry for help and a push against societal norms that I'm actually concerned for that woman. I'm really serious, y'all. I'm not even joking. Now, if I see a man tattoo his face, then I'm concerned, because again, your face, you have to go out in this world every day. Something's wrong. It's a blinking red sign. Something's wrong. And you could actually Google this stuff up for studies. They actually do show this scarification is, and prime example, another example is breast implants. Now, people think, oh, breast implants are just breast implants, Erica. The number of suicides with breast implants is like quadrupled. Like, women who get breast implants within a 5-year window do like high numbers of suicide attempts. High numbers. So when people say, oh, breast jobs, it doesn't matter, it does matter. There's a reason. There's an underlying reason people are doing this. Same thing when it comes to gastric bypass surgery. A lot of times people who get gastric bypass surgeries, the following studies will show that person will find another, addiction or something different, right? Or they'll break the band. They'll go back to eating really ridiculous, and they go back and they break, their stomach's upset, right? Because they rupture themselves sometimes. So they'll go to alcohol. They'll go to sexual addiction. They go to other addictions, because it was never about the food. It was an underlying problem. And this is what I mean about money, right? I've seen people get all this money and then they're just like helping their family. They're just pouring money like a faucet. because they're trying to band-aid up the family. Okay? So when people talk about relationships, really they should be talking about the relationships about money. Now, when Ann says the women talk about it just as much, the women talk about it from a perspective of catching the bag per se, right? How can I make myself better to catch the bag? The men on the other side are going, F the women. I look good. I don't have any money, but I look good. You're like, dude, you're switching the roles. Financially, you're supposed to be effective. This one man made a comment in Kevin Samuel's post, and he said, well, I'm an 8 in the body and a 4 in the face. I said, well, yeah, that's a lot of men. I've seen men with ugly faces who have amazing bodies. So what? Dress to that body. Do the best you can. But that's also when it comes into what you have to say, what your thoughts are. You know, this whole phenomenon of men getting wig pieces, that's a cry for, I want to be confident. But instead of doing the things that usually get confidence, like more money, jobs, certifications, adventures, they get wig pieces. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a symptom. It's not the problem. The problem is lack of finances, lack of confidence in that department. Okay? But yeah, again, it's just the way we're going about it, right? 10s never usually develop a personality or develop emotional stability. They don't have to. People will do what they want. Look at Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash attacked her husband number 4. And I promise you this, if that man divorces Stacey Dash, another man, he could be 60 years old, will still come and get Stacey Dash again. Because again, she's in a genetically superior part where she is very asymmetrical. Now again, if you look at studies, if your body is just symmetrical, if you just have a nice, like your eyes aren't too big or too wide or too whatever, or your face, you have a symmetrical face. This is why it's big about haircuts. That is very attractive and appeasing. So again, it's not always about, she's a 10, but it's just like symmetrical. It's very important. My dad took care of 12 kids, 1 wife, retired with land and wealthy. These dudes be tripping. Again, they will say, well, the cost of living is so much higher. If you know the cost of living is so much higher, and that would make the demands of you to do what? In order for you to live well, and live well even in retirement, that would mean what? You need to make more money. Who's able in a relationship to truly make more money? It's the man. The woman's going to have kids at some point. A 10 ego is the last thing you want to deal with when you're doing things. Men crave peace and stability when they're on their purpose. You would hope. Oh, Sharon, that's true. Be happy. Be happy with a good person that you can build with, and be happy with someone you're attracted to. Again, there's a post I put the other day where it said, it's not that you didn't find her. You kept looking after you found her. That's usually the problem of all marriages. You found someone great, but you kept looking after you found them. Anyway, I'm wrapping this up, but I say all this in this video is because I want you guys to really be focused on the solution. The solution to when you have charity events and these golf classics I'm going to next year, all of them are donating money to charities. All of them are donating money to kids and issues, and putting yourself in a position where you can not only make enough money, that you make so much money that you're just kicking off money for donation purposes. Right? Oh, Sade, of course. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and this is ugly. Sade is so beautiful and classically beautiful that when I was reading about her daughter getting surgery to transition to a boy, I said, well, let me go see what the girl looked like. The girl looked like her father. Now, I'm saying this because I think studies show that's a mental disorder. But to be in the shadow of a mother like Sade, who is classically beautiful, and you are not beautiful, and you're very manly in the face, you look like your dad, that would be mentally hard, on top of other things. I think the same thing happened to Cher's daughter. Cher's daughter looked like a boy. And so, things happen. I mean, I just think society pressures. A woman could be gorgeous, big body, banging body, but if her mentality is trash, it's a huge deduction. It should be. An elderly without money is sad life, so you better your life to retain your independence in old age. Oh yeah, that I saw that show. That girl was upset. He promised so much to that girl. He did. As if Dominicans don't watch American TV. They do. They do. So you gotta be careful. You gotta get a Haitian. You gotta go. But then Haitians cheat all the time. But that's all. That's the word on the street. That's what I heard. I seen one where the wife came to the husband's dirty apartment. Yes, been the bartender, and he expected her to clean it up. And he had a twin size bed. So this is just shows you the insanity that people are out here like, you know what I'm gonna do? I need a relationship. I'm poor. I'm in a bad financial situation. But instead of completely focusing and dedicating my life to improving my life, I'm gonna go find somebody. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, because it's better to find somebody than improve yourself. And that's why you see these people. You know, you'll see, I remember one time I talked to this man that was divorced and he was amazing. But he had like 3 kids with his ex-wife and he was saying they both were broke and they were getting together and he realized neither one of them liked each other. And it's not even that they fell out of love. They just did not like each other because they didn't need each other anymore. It wasn't a need base. It wasn't a financially needy based place anymore. And they both went their own ways and both actually got remarried. Like after a while, wasn't interested, but somebody else remarried to him. And he was a great guy. But you see people doing things like that because of money. Marrying a whole person they don't particularly like because of money. It's mind-blowing. Even Jane Austen said a man needs a fortune, a home, and then a wife. Hey now. And now my friend brought this thing up saying, you know, back in the day, a man could be 10 years older than you, and it wasn't a problem. Almost 20 years, depending on what decade you're in. But guess what that man had? He had a house, he had a home, he had a business, he was a business owner, he was a pillar of a community. You didn't have no raggedy, shuffless bum come by at 40 years old trying to marry your 18-year-old daughter, you know, because then they probably would have beat you from the door to the road. Okay, you didn't have that. You didn't have that. Now, did you have accomplished, sailors, army men come home and try to marry some girl in town? Yeah, you had that. But they had accomplishments. So even the paradigm of trying to use that as men have always been attracted to younger women. Yeah, but those men had accomplishments. Again, you keep wanting to keep the old standard without the old standard money. You see how this is not working for you? You can't have a standard, but if you don't want to do what it takes to keep the standard, which is the money. I've seen it here 4 times. Poor foreigners get here and want to live better than someone who's been born here and been working. Well, even the other day, Nick Taylor was talking about a whole family, how the black guy married the Mexican woman, or she probably was El Salvadorian because she was so short, if that's what he was saying. And she was truck driving, and both his daughters were truck driving. Now, that family, what's going to happen is those girls are going to drive for a year or 2. I've seen it before here in Austin. They're going to drive for a year, maybe 3 years max, and then they're going to go find somebody because they're good looking. And they're going to go lease that truck out to somebody else. Or even sell it. I go on Facebook Marketplace all the time and this little Hispanic guy's going, oh, I started my business here, so I'm just selling my truck. I don't need it no more. Because they take the money they get from on the road and go, I'm going to use that money to do something with it. Now, they don't use that money to stunt. There's so many, and I'm being careful here, but a lot, even the middle class black folks I get angry with here on Instagram because they'll get one truck, one rental property and quit their job and start traveling. I'll be like, whoa, baby, whoa. You never kill the main income. The main income you keep for at least 2-3 more years till you get enough assets that you just have no choice but to not be at work. But this model of falling in love with not having a job is causing some people to stumble. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera here. I ain't going hard on these people. I'm just telling the truth. The slight edge is easier initiate and maintain. Yeah, the slight edge, if you think about it, the premise of the slight edge book, for those of you who aren't going to read it, because I know a lot of people ain't going to read it, the slight edge as well as the compound effect are the same thing. If you think about it, the CEO who reads a book a month, and honestly they say CEOs read sometimes 5 books a month, the guy who reads 5 books a month by the end of the year has read 60 books. Do you think you're going to out earn him if he takes action? He has 60 books in the knowledge of a direction and is taking action. Are you going to beat him? No. Same thing when Kobe Bryant said every day he would get up, and most people did 2 workouts in basketball every day. He would do a third. He'd get up in the morning at 4 a.m. and do a 2-hour workout, then eat breakfast, relax, then go to the 11 o'clock workout, then eat food, and then relax, then go to the next workout. So he would have 3 workouts a day. So he would be more sharp than Everybody else, because of what? He had an extra workout in. The same thing is with the it's expert theory, where you get 10,000 hours in a particular subject and it'll make you an expert. Part of that is, if you spend an extra 2 to 3 hours every day on something, you'll become an expert in that field. Now, what does that mean? If you're a woman and you spend 2 to 3 hours every day, I'm just being honest, watching Hallmark channels every day and eating food on the couch, eventually you'll follow a trajectory that do what? Not be very good. If you're that same one and you spend 2 to 3 hours every day doing something outside the house, this is a theory, but it's projection, it's truth, and you're going to different events and banquets and events and golf and a workout class, and your trajectory is going to be different than a woman who just stayed at home all those years. Okay? Same thing with a man. If you're a man who you've worked a bunch of extra hours for at least 5 years straight and you're saving all that money, the debt is gone. There's countless stories where you'll see someone had $20,000 in student loan debt, paid it off in a year by working the extra job and using all the money from the part-time job to that debt. You'll have people with $20,000 in student loan debt 10 years later saying, I still got my original student loan debt. You're telling me you couldn't pay $150 every month for 10 years? What the fuck have you been doing for 10 years? Wasting your life. That's what you've been doing. So again, it's all about the focus. It's all about the compound effect. It's all about the slight edge. The slight edge is doing a little bit more. If Monday through Friday you make one extra phone call, I think when we did the numbers, out of a 52-week year, you made an extra 250 phone calls a year. Just that. That's just Monday through Friday, a regular work day. Again, that's why when people tell me they're in a city and they can't talk to any women, and some of these pickup artists tell them, well, if you just speak to 2 women a day, at the end of the year, that's like you spoke to like 700 or 800 women. And these people are always like, oh my God, you want me to speak to that many women? Yeah, because it's just a numbers game at that point, right? I had a friend who had 4 daughters. No lie. Divorced mom, single mom, 4 daughters, went on 70 dates in 1 year. The last dude, she ended up marrying him 6 months later. 70 dates in 1 year. And at various people, not 70 guys, but a combination of 30 guys or something like that. So there is a national housing shortage on starter homes. Yeah, Cosmic Wisdom, but a lot of people don't even want starter homes. When you start talking to people in Atlanta, when you talk to a lot of mortgage brokers and agents, people don't want to start in a starter home. They just don't even want to start. And it's because usually they're starting later in life. And so they want to be at the same place as their friends who got a home 10 years ago, and you're just not going to be in the same place. When women get in your house, they start imagining it as their house. That's right. That's how they do it. Can't let pheromones make decisions for you. Yeah. Drink up every time Erica claps her hands. All right, Tim A. It's really about power and conquest. It is what men must do, period. Erica is ruthless. Move out her way or get ran over. I mean, solid self to wealth. I really try to be so kind to people. I really do. And, but what I understand is it's fun to talk about stupid stuff. I get it. It's fun. I get it. We're all laughing. But when you spend 10 to 30 years talking about silly stuff, you've dedicated your life to fuckery. You've dedicated your life to nothing. I'm not even asking y'all to do craziness. I'll have people tell me, I've been trying to buy a house, and they'll be talking about it for 5 years. And I go, you in 5 years haven't saved up 10 grand to put on as a 20% down payment on a 50K home in the hood or in the middle of rural areas. You're not serious about it. That's how I know if you do a 90-day focus, where in 90 days, every day you're in your planner tracking yourself. You'll see for yourself. When people say, oh, I'm drinking water, I'm working out, I'm doing that stuff. I watched a video of a black girl who was 300 pounds. She worked out every day for 100 days. She lost 80 pounds in 100 days, y'all. And she was doing what? Tracking herself. She realized how much she was eating, how much she wasn't walking, how much she wasn't exercising. 80 pounds. Y'all can go look this up on YouTube. This girl tracked herself for 100 days. She said she would get up and go to the gym every day for 100 days. Didn't know what the hell she was doing. She just watched YouTube videos and went and lost 80 pounds. It's all about tracking. You cannot get traction in your life if you're not tracking. Do you know how many emails I've gotten from people trying to sell me properties across the United States in 90 days? If I just put a sidebar email for houses, If you were to say, Erica, how do I become authority somewhere? If you were to go on Bigger Pockets every day for a year and respond to 2 to 5 people every day for a year, you'd be an authority. See, the thing is, it's not that people don't want to be better. They ain't got no tracking. They just out here sporadically just shotgun pumping over here, doing that, doing this. No consistency, no flow. Again, it gets back to the root of the problem. No discipline, no money. Solid self-support said, facts. That's not only the straight community. I see it every day in mine. Hey, there you go. I have to agree, fit but broke is almost worthless. Thank you, AM1. Listen to these Gen Z young adults with their MAGA hats, aren't playing around. Lavina 08, they not playing with us. These Gen Zs, they are about their pennies. They're counting the... Listen, there are so many young guys right now. This is why I love doing these calls, and sometimes I love meeting y'all in person. People under 25 years old, they didn't come to play. When they figure out the math that most people are going to make $3,000 a month on their job, they're like, oh, fuck that. I'll go buy a couple of rental properties. I'll go buy 3 rental properties and do the hard work. I'll go buy 4 rental properties and manually go in the house and clean it and paint it myself so that I can go be free to go sit in Thailand real cheap. There's a black couple called Indefinite Honeymoon. If you look them up on Instagram, you should be able to see them. They have a YouTube channel too, but it's called Indefinite Honeymoon. They left college and they was like, after they finished college and they got married right out of college, because a lot of black people are doing that. They were like, we can go live in Thailand for $400 a month really well. And you can go write your books and I can paint and we can pay off our student loans over the next 5 years if we stay in Thailand. Okay, peace out. And they gone. They in Bali, actually, not Thailand. They in Bali. But go look at their page. Go look at it. Just listen to them talk about money sometimes. It's the basic math. And guess what? Even if they come back to America in like 5 years, at 30, start having kids, they'll be right in sync with some of their friends that were in college and they've been doing it, but sitting in America goofing off past 5 years. I promise you. They'll be right back in sync. When you're 20 to 30, 5 years is important. But how you spend it, the trajectory of it is important. The reason you see the reason my friend who's in the military sees all these guys at 30 trying to get in the military at 30, because they've wasted 20 to 30. And now they're looking for trajectory. Now, it would have been better if they were 18 to 25 in the military, got out, then went to college, would have had, free college and money in their pocket for GI Bill. But again, it's all about how you do things, what order you do them in. You're 100% right. I have a male friend that's a CFO of a hospital and has to beat the woman off with a stick. I'm telling you, Crystal O'Neal, my friend Money Madu and a couple of them, they bought 1 or 2 rental properties. Women were in the DMs very aggressively, throwing themselves at them, sending them pictures, sending them different things, suggestive texts. 1 rental property. That's how I know when these guys are on the internet complaining about no women worth talking to. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You're not making no money. You're not in no investments, because high caliber women will throw themselves at you. If you was doing what you say you're doing, high caliber women would throw themselves at you. You're lying. You're not doing anything. This reminds me of the black professor who married a Russian woman half his age and she played him. I saw that overflow and I said he had to know. He had to know. She won't here for that. No, I saw that picture of that man and was mad. Lack of ambition is really sad. 25,000 a year girl run like that. Girl, listen. When he had that convo with me, I was like, ooh, I dodged a bullet. Life varies so much. I should be a marriage counselor to people, how to build love and maintain it. After 20 years of college sweetheart, I have stories and experiences. Cash will destroy any relationship. Lack of cash will destroy a relationship as well. Trust me. There are people who just want out of it because, it's a constant stress of like, man, she ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. It's always a fire. It's always stressful. If you know you're on a track, keep moving forward and have stability in your mind. What instrument did he play? He played guitar, and the other guy played, the bass. And like they both were multi-talented. They played more than one instrument. I'm talking about real estate, investing, and house hacking. And some guy friends told me that it comes off as intimidating. So at that point, you're in the wrong room. You need to get out of that room. Let's just be really honest. Who's that again? ARHODE Snow or whatever. If somebody's telling you you're intimidating, that's like when people go on travel and then they talk about travel all the time and people are like, oh, I'm tired of hearing about their travel. That's a bitter ass person. So you need to go where you're celebrated. Now, what is where you're celebrated? You need to be at REIA events. You need to be at real estate conferences. You need to only surround yourself with real estate people. Now, somebody may say that's ridiculous. Erica, that's ridiculous. It's not. It's not. It's just like the CrossFitters and the yoga people and the holistic, which we'll talk about in the YouTube course. They surround themselves with people like them and have a much happier life. I have several friends who got out of the military, but they only have military friends. Other retired military business friends, and that's it. They don't hang around civilians because people have, they just don't, and how do you have a healthy, thriving community? You create one, right? You guys see I'm going to DC and all our friends are going. Cousin Nita's going, Asia's going, some of the people on the team are going, other people in the DC area, Kendra, Charm City Buyers out of Baltimore. Wait, they're going to be in China still. But all those people are going because we surround each other with each other and create community there. Now, what you're thinking of community is somebody go to church with me and eat Sunday dinner every Sunday. That may not be your life. And you may have to move to even to get that, right? And if you're a woman, like most men, when I go on dates with them, they don't know what I do. They don't know I'm a YouTuber. They don't know about any of this stuff. The last guy only knew that I had one truck. I was like, yeah, I own a truck. It's rented out. Like, I didn't give him no other details. And that's only because he was looking on my Facebook and saw me standing on the truck. Like, what you doing there? Right? I always tell people I'm in marketing or sales. That's it. That's it. So when people are saying that you're intimidated, like, how deep is this relationship and what's the conversation? Because that's really what we need to talk about, right? It's like, when people first get to meet you, they don't need to know what you do for a career. I was talking to AJ Vassar and he was saying how, he's hanging out with people in Colombia and they don't even know what he does, period. You don't know what they do. They don't know. Only in America do we start conversations off of what do you do as a way to gauge if we should respect you, honestly. I wouldn't want a 5 that is rich or sweet. Nah, I have to be attracted to you. Again, Southern Comfort, what does that mean? What is a 5? It's all subjective. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when someone says a 5, I have a friend who literally starts all women off at 5 and then he'll look at them and see if they're higher or lower. Again, most women are a 7. Unless they're a little odgy, eyes a little weird, most women are a 7. Just period. Some people can't even prove themselves to show their face on YouTube. Damn, Black Caesar, I know what you're saying, but I ain't gonna go, you're not gonna drive me in that fight. Because I actually know one dude who has a breathing problem. And if you actually listen to the audio, you can hear his breathing machine. But I'm not gonna pick out no names. There's also another guy who is been living with a single white mama, a white woman that's a single mother for 4 years now, but loves to tell you how he's doing this or that. But we ain't gonna name no names. There's also a guy who has a black single mom. He married her. But if you ever let that out, that's really when you're going, stuff hit the fan. Oh yeah, a lot of C-sections are scams, but again, it's a combination of what people are eating, what they're doing. Kelly Cole, I walk more and lose many inches. Yeah, a lot of studies show the level of walking. And again, this is why when people say they go overseas and they see so many fit people, they walk all the time. They walk all the time, every day. You need to be, when I'm in the certain neighborhoods that I frequent, there's nothing but married couples walking every afternoon, walking a dog, walking the kids, everybody's walking. And that's a sign of middle class. I'm just being honest. The neighborhood is walkable, safe walkable, and you see a lot of couples walking it every afternoon. And I remember telling this guy one time I was dating about walking in the afternoons together, and he was like, that's stupid. And I go, yeah, this isn't the one for me, because that's what couples do. Where do you get the time to exercise together and talk about your day? Not in the bedroom. Not always. You got to actually make time in the daytime. But again, that's poor people problems. So C-sections cut the rubber band. Exactly, Cindy Linder. Kate Middleton changed her original call. Yeah, we talked about that. Yes, that's true. The public ended up calling her Weighty Katie. Yep. Old guys complaining like women about women. Meanwhile, they choose to blame someone else for their failures. Ooh. Proximity in your network. Meghan Markle was set up to a blind date with Harry. Exactly. No disagreement here. Weight loss happened in kitchen. Mr. Gates happened in the gym workout. Get a couple of vending machines and sidelines in schools. Make that dough. Drop it in acorns. I've seen you somewhere just sending you a humble. Oh, wow. You guys are talking to each other in there. More importantly, your credit needs to be on point. Fact, Florida is flipped. Thank you from the UK. Money is an analogy for resources. Yes. TV horrible for the average person until we get strong financially. Hallmark channel makes a total of $4 billion a year. Thank you so much. Hallmark has 2 channels now. The Black Brain Trust in The Man of Tomorrow is way better. Or Become a Beautiful Man. Been the bartender, I ain't doing it. I have my own bag. It takes marketplace skills, sales, communication, leadership. They don't really teach that in school. But James, that's just it. They're not supposed to teach it in school. So many people keep giving me this conversation about schools not teaching stuff. The school is not supposed to teach it. Your mama and daddy are supposed to teach you things. Your community is supposed to teach. When people talk to me and say money's not an issue, I go, the Jewish people write a code. Without money, they're defenseless. Without money, they're murdered. I mean, this is a real thing, y'all. How do Jewish people, how do the Japanese and Chinese and Asians in America, especially in California in the 1980s, high rates of assault, high rates of their women being murdered, high rates of attack. What do? Businesses, joining the Chamber of Commerce, writing laws. You don't let people push you over when you have money and you have power. I'm a millennial, Kelly Cole, if you're asking. I'm a millennial. I'm like right in the middle too, millennial. Because you have the older millennials, which cuts off at 38. Then you have the youngest millennial should be 25. So. I just left at WeWork office. I'm thinking about leasing space. If I was singles, this would be a great place for dates. Malik Vanderpool, I'm telling you, when I'm in WeWork, it's funny. There's 2 guys. I can name them right now in my head thinking about them. They bring their dog in there. And why? So you'll pet them. They'll walk around like, oh, hey. And you're like, oh, okay, get on. You know what I mean? But to some woman, that's, and the dude, when he works in one of these offices, he leaves his door open all the time. He wants somebody to come in there and talk to him. King Waves, I'm about to drop some interview content I shot with Erica when she was here. Thank you, AM1. AM1 is going to have some great content. But, I mean, here's the thing. Like, oh, my God, we've been going an hour and 12 minutes. I need to wrap this up. I'm supposed to be meeting Jalen from Black Wealth Renaissance. They sent me this, which is amazing. Renaissance woman. But at the end of the day, the point of me doing this is because as I segue, not that I'm leaving YouTube per se, but like as I'm going in different directions and growing, I may not be doing the silly videos as much anymore. Like I can't talk crazy like this in some videos in the future. But a lot of it is you can move up in society. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to be stuck to environments you don't want to be in. But it's going to require you to work out, put on some nice clothes, talk like you have sense, and go to certain events. You cannot stay in your house every day of the week and complain about how bad women are. You're not dating any women. You're on app swiping and trying to text some way. Texting is a lazy way to get some woman's attention. Texting is a lazy way for you don't have to communicate and use your words. Texting will not get you in the door at Fortune 500 companies. Texting will not open gateway doors for you. You have to pick up the phone and call people. There's actually a young black man who's going to actually call me, and I'm going to give him all my insurance business because he's called. Now, he's tried to text me. He's tried to email me, and I've been like, meh. But now that he's repeatedly called, he's going to get my business because you have to pick up the phone in business in order to make it work. Suicide rate is high in transgender. Yes, that's right. What about tummy tucks? Well, even tummy tucks, I think it's like $3,000, $3,000, $5,000. Tats don't look the same on middle-aged women or grandmothers. Yeah, I mean, just period. It's scarring. That's what it is. Boy, people want to call me 5,000 times when I'm doing this. Leaking breast cause chemical imbalance in women. Mental heavy. Yeah, but yeah, also usually doctors are supposed to do a mental evaluation before you get certain surgeries, because what ends up happening is people who have disorders get surgeries and it doesn't fix the problem. Of course, it causes more problems. Men get wig pieces because their hair falling out. Yes, they do. I've been with, this wasn't my first rodeo with him. Oh, right. Okay, I feel what you say, Black Caesar. Does a symmetrical face mean they have a lazy eye? No, I actually know a man with a lazy eye. Stop it. What does that corny phrase even mean on my purpose? Oh my gosh. Thank you, Doug, best moderator in all of YouTube. Man, you're right about breast implant women. I've had 2 that were suicidal as F. I kept one from committing suicide because she wouldn't deal with some small at work. I'm telling you, M Sway, it tracks. Like, they show you when people are out here breast implants, they are people doing porn. People that do porn have like the highest drug addiction and like suicide rates. And you'll find out, like, and people are like, oh no, they were just freaky. No, they weren't. They needed drug money. They were abused as a child. They were running out of the group foster care system. You know, if somebody wanted attention, there are other ways to get attention than doing porn. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the suicide rate of men in gay porn is like out of this world. They literally had like 12 stars kill themselves in a 3-year window, that they were out there saying, you know, get help. You know, this is crazy when you have to literally have a get help campaign for porno stars, right? And so, not to take this conversation in the dirt or the mud, but also for you guys to realize, like, you don't have to be on the bottom. It's a choice. If you really want to elevate your life, you want to go be around classy, good-looking women, you want to have a nice life, you can have it. Even on 90 Day Fiance, there was a guy, he was wealthy, but he wasn't that wealthy. And he was on a boat in Spain with prostitutes. Let's just be honest what it was. And there was a girl on the boat who was from Brazil, and she was a model. And when he brought her back to the United States, all his friends are like, ugh. And everybody's going to say they hating on that man. No. When she went to immigration, they asked her, have you ever been a prostitute in the past 10 years? The girl's only 21, but they asked her, have you ever been a prostitute? She couldn't answer the question. Well, basically, she refused to answer the question. Immigration was like, we're not going to give you no green card, baby, because we feel you're a prostitute. This man done brought a prostitute over and trying to play it off like he trying to marry this girl. But again, you know, a true man of economic means, and he's a white guy, he could have got a classier, you know, woman if he really had money. He didn't have that much money. And you could tell he didn't have that much money. Because he was like, oh, I may go to Brazil for a few months, you know, to save cash while we're waiting on this immigration thing. And his friends are like, why? Do you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't got that money. Front. Sade is Nigerian. Sade is Nigerian and European. She's halfy. But what if you thought you found someone great, but after marriage found out they're crappy? Kaisers, to death do you part. Till you die. You are to work that out. You are to get counseling. That's the answer to that. Sade is the name of the band, not the lead singer. I know it's not, but I'm just giving you the, you know. Lord Erica, your observations are spot on. Her band name is Sade, but her name is Sade too. Thank you, y'all. Oh, Lord, Art Banks. I can't agree with that. Not going to go there. Thank you. None of the black men I know are broke or lazy. Thank you. Slight edge works. Applying a theory give you expertise. Thank you, Jamar, for posting the planner. Jasper, you're my favorite. Tell them like it is. Somebody's got to. I mean, because at the end of the day, you hear these problems of, like, prime example, this girl is Lisa Phillips. She's a multi-millionaire real estate investor. She has like 6 siblings though. Her mom was a single mom, making all these babies, I know. And her sister's son got caught shoplifting at a store. And they said, okay, well, just come up here and pay his fine and you can take him home. The sister had to call her because she didn't have $200. So first of all, your son got caught shoplifting, which is crazy because you have a multimillionaire aunt and your son's caught shoplifting. You don't even have the $250 to pay the fine. So that means you don't have a credit card. You don't have your finances together. You ain't got $200. You can't call a Bill's bondsman. Nobody. So this is the stuff you're encountering with people. If people are encountering these small $200 to $500 problems. And this is why I'm such an advocate for, if you have 2 or 3 people in your family and they're all in tech and they're all making 100,000, your family don't have these little emergencies. They don't have these problems. They don't have a bunch of family members getting evicted. They don't have this crazy shit because you'd have money. And I hear these conversations they're having in certain parts of the YouTube, and I'm like, this is pathetic. This is all revolving money. You don't got no money. Go back to the root of the problem. Go back to the root problem. Non-starter homes are overpriced. Yes, Thursday. You can buy a home with no new money down. Yes, you can. You can buy a home with no new money down. Document your financial spend habits. Yep. Bigger pockets is the boom. You know, right now I'm really excited for Blacker Pockets getting their forum up, because we'll know more about our inner cities and places where to invest, and we won't be calling it a war zone or crackheads or drug dealers. You know, things that are racial overtones. So. It's not. Bennett Elliott Trucking said, it's not a secret what a man should do. It's just not popular in the building phase, just in the end result. Yeah, people want the results. They want the hot models. They want to travel on vacation, but they don't want to see the building the business. They don't want to see where I had to make YouTube videos and then I responded to 30, 40 comments daily for 2 years. They don't want to see all the behind the scenes stuff that actually gets you there. Kobe actually said he did 4 a day versus 2 a day. He did, Raphael. I may have misquoted. I apologize. But I know it was like he started at 4 a.m. in the morning. I do know that part. You are the closest. You are the 5 closest people around you. Have to remove, add, and repeat when it comes to influence. Yeah, the human mind is made for communities of 150 people or less that you'll kind of know, but not necessarily know. But you'll know 12 people more indently. That's it. 12 is the link. Like, and when I say know them, I mean, like, if I ask you how your friend Sheila doing, do you know? You should kind of know where she at, or she's in town or not. Like, I have 2 friends right now on top of my head. If somebody calls and asks, hey, where's Erica at? They'll know the city I'm in, and they'll know when I'm coming back to town. The other 10, she's not in town right now, but let me message her. Right? It's circles, it's levels to this, right? And then there's another 100 people outside that sphere that would know. So again, it's all about building community. And when people say, oh, I don't have friends, it's like, well, you got to get out your fucking house. All this Netflix and Hallmark Channel watching, and they don't have no hobbies, no activities. It's gross. Asking someone what someone does is a rude question. It really is. Some women will clumsily ask you, what do you do within a short time period? Yeah, I usually always ask what they do for fun this week, what they did this week. They have anything fun. And people always get mad. CC's Corner. I lost 50 pounds just stepping in place at home and using keto. CC, that's a whole channel right there. Congratulations. I love the idea of walking with your partner. Drop 16 TV said, I'm about to turn 26 and feel 36. Hey, man, you got to get some vitamins, some veggies, some juicing. Oh, thank you, Mindful J. Oh, how do I find the statistics on porn? If you type in suicide rates of gay porn stars 2017, I think it should pull it up. And I don't know if you really want to put that in your computer search, but yeah, they had a lot of big stars kill themselves in 2016 and 2018. So you should be, that's really terrible how I'm telling you to search this. But look up gay porno stars high suicide rates 2017. You should be able to pull up several articles on it. Yeah, I saw the season of 90 Days. It's sad, yeah. Oh, Paul Brown. I work with a young lady who's on 3 mental meds and got breast implants with a loan. And you want me to say something ugly? The reason some of these girls are getting these breast implants is because they know to attract a dude. I'm doing it for me. No, you're not. You want attention. Same thing with the girl who did the butt implants, K. Michelle or somebody. Like, she wanted these ridiculous butt implants so that she just get all the attention. Every time she walk in a room, heads would turn. Oh, wow. That's sick, man. That's fucking, you need help. They need help. But they did it for some dude to pay attention. 40% of Americans can't put $500 together for emergency. Yep. All right, everybody. Whew. Thank y'all for being here today. It's been on an hour and 24 minutes. I didn't mean to do that. I got to go meet Jalen down south from Renaissance, Black Wealth Renaissance. He's probably like, what happened to me? Probably think I fell off a truck or something. Anyways, you guys, thank you for being here today. Again, the root of the problem for our economy is financial. You know, all this conversation about relationships, how you getting in healthy relationships if you both broke? How you getting in healthy relationships if you ain't got no money? How are you even contributing to someone else's life if you ain't got no money? You ain't got no home. You can't provide shelter. So again, these are silly conversations people are having in a circle because they can't provide anything. It doesn't make any sense. Again, even some of these guys who are in the sphere talking about relationships are married with kids. So why is a married man with kids telling you not to marry and not have children and not have a legacy and not provide instruction for your children? I'd watch out for somebody doing that. That's like snake oil. Okay. So look, I hope y'all have a good day. Be blessed. The planner's out. YouTube course, I might drop it on Friday. I've been working like nonstop hours recording videos to make sure it's good and make sure we can all learn and y'all can really propel yourselves and get this Wi-Fi bread, as Glendon Cameron loves to say. But again, it's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to elevate yourself, you want to make millions of dollars a year, you want to drive nice cars and buy a house cash, you want to do a lot of cool stuff and travel for 6 months out of the year and take off from your business and your business still pay you every day, maybe you'll come. All right, you guys, later.